Nice music, Mwangi. Hi and good evening, builders and co-creators. I hope that you're having a good start to your week. Welcome to the Builders Baraza this evening. As always, we are here every Monday and Thursday at 8:30, and we'll take you up to about 9:15 thereabout. And we're talking about the pertinent issues in the building and construction space. As always, this is the group that opens you up to share your ideas. This is where you share your fears about building. This is where you share your victories and successes around building and construction. This is where you even express your wishes. This is where you say, wow, wow, to people's projects and say, poor work when it is obvious. Yeah. So you're very welcome to this show today. As I promised you earlier, we are speaking about water. And we're not speaking about water piping. We're not speaking about the rain or MAU or afforestation. We are talking about borehole drilling. Borehole drilling is very much within this space of ours because it takes the training of people within the building and construction space to be able to drill and to and to sink boreholes. And anyway, we need water in the projects that we are doing. So we thought that it's important within our superstructure segment today to speak with not one person but two people who understand boreholes. There is one gentleman. His name is Peter Mbugwa. Peter Mbugwa is a marketing officer at Alpha Geoscience Drilling Company. Alpha Geoscience Building Company, represented today by Peter Mbugwa, the marketing officer. Hello, Peter.
Hello to you.
You're welcome. Hello. And next, our next guest is Winnie Konda. Now, Winnie, I'm so happy to have you in this show today because you're a lady and you are, knocking the walls and doing the things that people think only men can do. So when I saw that, you're an eligible interviewee, I thought Winnie must be here. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Winnie Konda from Waterlinks. Winnie is representing Waterlinks. She's the head of sales. And for you to be able to sell a borehole, ladies and gentlemen, you will need to know the details around it. So they are here to represent Alpha Geoscience Drilling and Waterlinks. Karibu, Winnie.
Thank you, Celine, for welcoming me to the forum.
Nice. So I've already introduced the two of you. One person is the head of sales, the other person is a marketing officer for the two firms. Now, I guess the way that we will do it, because it's our first time interviewing two people, maybe one question I'll ask the other and then the other, like that, and just see if we have any parallels there. So first of all, gentlemen and lady, please tell us what the difference is between a well and a borehole, because today I want us to discuss boreholes, not wells.
There's a huge difference between a well and a borehole. A well, people don't get to know that a well is hand dug and a borehole is machine drilled. So for a well, they're always shallow and wide, but for a borehole, it's narrow. So there is a huge difference. You use a machine to drill a borehole, but you use your own hands, and a few things to just dig a well. So there is a huge difference in the circumference and the things you use to do a well and things to do a borehole. So you dig a well, but there is a huge difference in both.
Okay, but is there a well and a borehole targeting the same water table, Mbugwa?
Yeah, because in both of them you harvest water from the underground. It's only because a well is shallow. You can't go with a well, unlike a borehole. A borehole is deep, and you use a machine to do that. But for a well, you dig with your own hands, or you can use jembes, anything you use, but you don't use a machine. No wonder it dig for a well and drill for a borehole.
All right, but I'm interested in knowing, and maybe Peter, you can chip in here. Is the water table that you access when you dig a well by hand, the same water table you reach when you sink a borehole? Is it the same water table?
No, it isn't the same. It is absolutely different.
Explain that to us.
In most cases, in a well, and that is the reason as to why it is manually done, as Winnie has explained, hand dug. Mostly it depends with the water table and water levels, which is the surface water. Surface water, the one that is just some feet underground. But when it comes to boreholes, and that is why we conduct something we call hydrogeological survey. This is to ascertain and to study the water aquifers. Water aquifers, they are the main or the component water providers in our borehole. And that is why we go deep, so that you can strike the deepest aquifer, the one which will be recharging the borehole at all times without drying up at any point or any time of the season. That is mostly.
But I get it. Tell me, if there is a place with a well, does that mean, because there are places that you can't dig a well because the water table is too deep, right? But then if I see a well that's working, does it mean that the water table, even when I sink a borehole, will be a bit high?
Okay. Mostly we go for the deepest aquifer, so that the water can be sustainable and not subject to change. But mostly in wells, at times, let's say, but there are some places whereby we have water potentiality. In such places, water will be sustainable in a well. But in places with scarcity of water, we go for the deepest aquifers. Am I making myself clear?
You're making yourself clear. So the water aquifers is the one that makes sure that the borehole water is not seasonal.
Yes, it is the main component. They call it, in other terms, it is called the underground stream.
The underground stream, I get it. So the borehole goes for the farthest, so that the water will never dry out.
Yes.
So a well, in other words, a well touches on the, like a superficial sort of, what did you call it? Aquifers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, I get it. I get the difference. Okay. And this is why some wells dry sometimes, because the aquifers that touches the one for the well is not deep enough. I get it.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So now let me ask you guys, this water that comes out of a borehole or the the underground stream, is it everywhere in the world?
No.
It can't be everywhere in the world. Peter's right. It can't be everywhere in the world. At times, it targets places with highly weathered zones, because not everywhere in the world you'll get water. No wonder we carry out the hydrological survey to tell us if there is water on that side and where to be precise, because you may drill here and drill here. So the formation underground, no wonder we carry out the hydrological survey, will tell us if we have water in that particular place, but we don't get water everywhere. There are places, let me give you a place like Makuyu or a place like Garissa. It's scarce to get water in such places. So we can't say we get water. At times you look for a point, but the formation has hidden the water basin. So you can't get water everywhere in the world. No wonder we carry out the hydrological survey, though it's not 100% accurate, but we carry it still. So by the end of the day, you won't get water everywhere in the world. No wonder we tell people to carry hydrological survey. Yes.
All right. So tell me, thanks for that, Winnie. Let me ask you guys. So if you do a survey here, and you don't get water, does that mean that the entire area, maybe a kilometer or 2 kilometers radius, doesn't have water? Or is it possible that you survey here and there's no water, but 10 meters away there is water?
Yes, It is possible. What you've asked.
Carry on, Peter.
Hello? Okay, I was saying that is possible. In fact, a radius of 10 meters means a lot in borehole drilling. And at a point, you might find someone has drilled, like, for example, 100 meters, then a radius of another 10 meters, they say that the person in that place, he will drill up to 200 or even less than 100. The difference being underground, the underground or the aquifers formation. Others are high, others are low. In places with high potentiality of water, the aquifers will be high. No, the aquifers will be up closer to the ground. But in places with the scarcity of water, that means the aquifers will be low. You will strike a lot of meters to reach the aquifers, and that is why the radius of the formation means a lot. You can't say your neighbor has drilled 100 meters, so it means if the same case will apply to you. They will be.
I get it. But then tell me guys, so if you come for a survey at my property, yeah, and you survey here and you get 200 meters, are you also able to measure, say, 20 meters away to see if it's higher? Is the survey only in one place, or do you keep checking in one property, different places?
One, Celine, let me say this clear if you may understand.
Yeah.
We are not able to state the quality and the quantity of water unless you drill. That's one thing people don't understand. The survey tells us the maximum depth, but you cannot basically say the quality and the quantity of water unless you have drilled on that specific place. Maybe we say 250. We drill there, it comes to 180. And the previous point on your borehole was 250. So we do a survey, but after drilling, it's when we'll know the quality and the quantity of water. So we can't say unless we drill the next point to give you the results of that borehole. But it cannot be the same. It cannot.
Okay.
It cannot.
Okay, no, I get you, Winnie. You're talking about the quality of water. Until you drill, you cannot tell the quality of water. Mwangi, I'm getting quite some feedback. Why is that the case?
I think there is one of you who has an echo, but just proceed if you die off.
Yeah. Okay, so the question is, if my property is 1 acre, and you measure one corner, and the survey tells 100 meters. When you come to survey, do you check another corner to see if the water table there is if the aquifers is higher? And do you check more than one place, or once you identify one place with 200 meters, that's it?
They give you the best point in 3 points. They don't just specify on that one point. They make 3 points and give you the best point in. Peter, is it not like that? They choose 3 points, 3 faces, and then they choose the best one for them to drill. Because they don't drill the 3 faces at once. So we do the hydrological survey in the 3 points, then we give you the best one to drill on the 3 points.
I get it. So Peter, in your company, Alpha Geoscience, do you also check 3 points and give us the best point?
Yes, exactly. That is, it's like a rule.
A standard.
Or something that we do to have quality production or best performance. Yeah.
I get it. And remember, there's something we are talking about, quality of water. What I mean here, and Winnie says that, look, until they sink the borehole, they can't tell you the quality of water. They can only tell you that there is water 150 meters down, but they can't tell you whether that water is drinkable. They can't tell you whether you can drink it from source, or if you will need to process it, or if it is so bad that is only proper for farming or for construction work. They can't tell that through survey. They can tell you, however, how much deeper, with relative accuracy, how deep you need to dig or to drill before you can actually strike water. I hope I'm representing you correctly, gentlemen and ladies.
Actually, yes, because you haven't drilled yet. You can't talk about the salinity of the water if you haven't drilled. You need to drill so that you get to know. So unless we have drilled, people will ask you, is the water, can you use it to drink? You can't answer that because one, we haven't drilled. Unless we have drilled the borehole and we take the water to the lab, we cannot say. So if a company tells you that you need to do all that, it's impossible unless you drill.
Excellent.
What happens,
go on, Peter.
What happens on that issue of fresh water or salinity? Some companies use that language as a business or strategy of marketing. Others will tell you we can determine fresh water. Others will tell you we can determine salty water. But that is not okay. For you to test something, you need to have that thing physically, so that you can test. If it is water you want to know whether it is fresh or salty, you need to have it physically, so that you can take it to the lab and test. So if I tell you that the water is fresh and I don't have the physical thing to test it, how can I convince you?
I see.
Now,
I see.
What we do, we depend on the research of the surrounding boreholes to get at least an average of whether the water is fresh or salty. Sometimes we can determine the quantity of freshness or saltiness in a water depending on the surrounding. Although at some point there is a certain machine, it detects the density. And when the density is high, the percentage of density is high, it means the percentage of the water to be fresh is high. When the density is lower, it really says that salinity of that borehole is high. So the higher the density, the higher the chances of fresh water. The lower the density.
Did you say the higher the density?
The higher the percentage density, the higher the chances of getting fresh water.
So there is a relativity there, but it is not a confirmation until you get out the water, right?
Yeah. Yes. It's not 100%.
Okay.
But it gives.
Now, tell me what you know how after this show or during this show you'll see a lot of people saying, is it likely, that I can get strike water in Western Kenya or Nyanza or Central and Northeast and so on and so forth. What makes one geography, say Western Kenya, what makes that geography more likely to have successful boreholes, removing water or successful drilling than others? What are some of the things that we can think about that can give us an indication kwamba hapa around kuna maji?
Okay. In most cases, environmental surrounding. Places
Tell us about
like environmental surrounding, I mean, like mostly the underground streams we are talking about, there has to be somewhere they're sourcing the water from. Like, for example, the areas around Kilimanjaro, that is a water catchment area. So in such places, you have likelihood to get good water or quantity water. In places whereby you have like forests, something that attracts rain and that has good.
Peter is trying to say, Celine, the climate of an area, places that has high rainfall have a possibility of getting good underground water because of the catchment. So the climate of an area, to be precise, you can get good water. Yes.
Okay. No, I get it. Now, let us talk about, government regulations and so on and so forth. Are there any things that the government requires for me to do or for you as a driller to do, or guidelines before I can drill a borehole?
Yes, the government you to get the permit, the RUA, the NEMA, and the abstraction permit. The abstraction permit is the last one after you're done with the drilling, but the 3 is before you do the drilling. Because we need authorization to drill, we need letter of no objection and the NEMA permit. So it takes a longer time. It takes a month to 2 to get the permit, but you can't drill before you get all the permits right. So it's the WARMA, the RUA, and the NEMA before drilling. After drilling, you can get the abstraction permit. That's the last one.
Okay, go slowly. The RUA, where do you get it from? The ANMA, where do you get those from?
WARMA, you get WARMA from the WARMA. Okay. Where can I get the RUA? Okay, we apply for all the permits basically for you if you want all the permits to be applied, because we also have the county government approval. So we have different offices. We have for the NEMA, you go to the NEMA people. For the WARMA, you go to the WARMA people. From the RUA, you go to the RUA people. So we have offices for each and every permit you are to get. If you are to get WARMA for Migori, you go to Kisii. There is Kericho. So different places have different places where you take your the hydrological survey report so that you get the permits right. So if it's NEMA, there is an office, you go for NEMA. For WARMA, you go for WARMA. And for RUA, you go for RUA. Yes.
I got it. And do your companies, Peter, do your companies help, the client apply and acquire the permits?
Yes, we do help clients. But on the other hand, beings will remain to be human beings. At times, when you tell a client you will take care of that, he or she will have a mind.
Will have a what? Sorry, Peter. I can't hear you. Oh boy. Peter? While Peter connects, Winnie, do you know what Peter was going to say?
Clients tend to wish to do all that for themselves, getting the WARMA, the RUA, the NEMA, and such forth. Others people will be like, let me do the hydrological survey for myself. For me, you do the survey for me, and the permits, they can get them for themselves. But each and every company has a department that can do that for them, for the clients. But different companies, currently, that's what Peter was trying to say, I guess.
All right. Sorry.
Do them, and others you'll do them. You'll do the permits for them.
I get it. So, no, Peter, you need to position your camera properly. We are seeing your ceiling, not your face. That's better. That's better. Thank you. So now let me ask you, the cost of acquiring these permits, is it part of your cost, or is that something that, or is it that the client pays and then when they commission you, then you absorb it? How does it go?
For us, we charge for the permits. Other companies are inclusive, but us, we have a charge for the survey and a different charge for the permits and a different price per meter. So it's not inclusive, the price per meter. Our price per meter is for just drilling, casings, and test pumping. So if we are to give you a price for the permits, we give you a price for the permits, separate from the survey and separate from the drilling, casings, and test pumping.
Okay. All right. So these permits are acquired after you have done the survey and you have confirmed that there is water there.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. And Peter, what is your cost for the permits? All these permits. And Winnie, I'm coming to you for the same question.
Now,
how do you charge at Alpha Geoscience? What's the approximate cost generally?
Approximate cost for warma, we charge, there is 5,000 for assessment and 7,500 for the abstraction. Total of 12,500. Or the client can, those are two. That is warma, 12,500. For the RUA, it is for the RUA, we charge 4,000 to 5,000. Although there are some places we have a lot of regulations whereby the cost will escalate depending on the conditions of poor people.
I see. So I'm already looking at 17,000 here.
Yes. For the NEMA, we don't charge the license or the permit. We charge for the environmental impact assessment. That study is what is charged, not the permit, not the license.
And how much is it?
At times you quote for that price of NEMA, then someone will ask you, why are you charging me NEMA and it is not charged? It is not the permit which is charged. It is to do that test. That is what is charged. You have to produce the results and compile a report that will take NEMA for studying.
All right.
Yes.
So we are talking about 21,000 here until NEMA, Sindio?
That is RUA and NEMA. For the NEMA test we charge at most 40,000, 40 to 45,000.
40,000. So really, these permits plus NEMA will be like to the tune of 50,000, 55,000. Winnie, is that the same at Waterlinks?
We charge 50,000 for the survey. At times we have offers once in a blue moon, but for all the permitting from Warma, RUA, NEMA, county government approval, we charge 50. Everything.
So it's about 50,000.
Yes, for everything, despite the location. That's how we charge it. Yes.
And this cost does not include the cost of survey to see how deep the water is, right?
No, I told you we charge separately for the hydrological survey.
I get it.
Very separate. So it's a total of 100,000 for both, for the permit plus the survey.
Yeah, yes. Peter, is yours also around that area for the survey and for all the permit? How much does it come to approximately?
It's approximate 120. At times 100, it will depend.
Thereabout, yeah. No, I get it. So members, before you think of having a borehole, before you're given the cost for sinking per meter, prepare 100K, 120 thereabout so that you can get all permits, so that you can get the survey done. Then they will come and tell you there's water. Then they'll tell you the cost per meter. Then you can do the math by how many meters deep your water is. It is doable. This Winnie you're seeing here, together with Peter, these guys are actually right now sinking 20 boreholes in Maua. They are not small time. So we are talking to the right people here, tried and tested. Okay, so guys, so now we already so you come and do the survey, and then you get me the permit, and then you tell me, yeah, there's water 100. Then what? What's the process of borehole drilling? How do I get from contacting you to getting that machine on the ground?
From the mobilization to everything. Let Peter explain, because they wanted to talk.
Peter, explain.
Okay. Process of borehole drilling. Once we give you a price per meter, you will calculate how many meters you want. Then we will give you the services.
How many meters you want, or how many meters you need?
Yes. Thank you for your correction. If the survey states 50 meters, it will depend with your location. Then we calculate the amount we will charge by the number of meters we are going to drill. When we get the total, from that total, we'll still give you a breakdown of the services that will include in that total. and services that will not be included in that total. From there, you make a down payment of 70%. We come to the site, start the drilling. We start the drilling process. When I say drilling process, it means we mobilize the machines to your site. We set the machine and we start drilling an open hole of 8 to 10 inch in diameter. When you drill that open hole up to the required depth, you had already paid the down payment of 70 to 80%. After drilling the open hole, there's another process of casings, supply, and installations. So you make the other down payment of 30%. That will translate to 100%. When you make that down payment of 30%, we'll now now go into the process of drilling, whereby we will install casings. When I say casings, I mean steel casings from the bottom where we have reached the drilling, the bottom part, all the way to the topmost part. We install the casings. Others are slotted, others are plain, depending on the water aquifer's placement, all the way down.
Is this what I was calling the culvert?
Yeah, that is what they call it. The right word is casings.
Excuse me, guys. So you'll pay 70% before they come. Then they will come and measure the hole. Then they will sink it. Before they do the casing, with those things that look like cylindrical culverts, they are called casing. Thank you, Peter. You pay the other 30%, because by the time they are done with the casing up to the ground level, you should have paid 100%. Is that not so?
Exactly. Although it will depend, some clients opt to pay you 100%. Then you plan yourself.
That's okay.
Others
so let me ask you.
But at the end of it, you'll have paid 100%.
Yeah. So let me ask you, the cost you will give me will include the cost of casings, because I know casings are put one on top of the other, right?
Yes.
Yes. So it will include the cost of casings, and the number of casings I need will depend on how deep I have gone to get the water, right?
Yes. It will. That price will for casings. The price of casings, that is transportation up to your site, the filling, the welding, the gravel. There's another thing we call gravel pack. It's like the sand for construction, but a specific one we use in Borehole. That is gravel.
I see. So all these costs will be given to me before you begin to sink a borehole, right?
Understanding you're given the price per meter, it covers all that: drilling, casings, and test pumping. When we say casings, it's inclusive all that: the gravels, the everything. So no wonder we are not saying everything, but in between. So it's drilling, casings, and test pumping.
And it is drilling, casing, and
test pumping.
Test pumping. I see. But does it include the cost of the pump?
No. It's not inclusive. Okay. The borehole pumping, it's not inclusive.
Okay. So guys, let me recap, just so that, because a lot of people will ask you how much. Correct me if I'm wrong. The first cost will come to about 50,000, which is the permit, about 50,000 plus minus 5,000. Then you need another 50,000 shillings for survey. And when they come to survey, they survey the optimal, place. So 3 areas in the same property, so that they can tell you the best area to actually drill. So that is another 50,000. Now, so that's 100,000. Yes. Then they'll charge you transport to your place. That's a separate cost, which then means that the closer you are to your driller, the cheaper.
No, we don't charge transportation. The price per meter covers all that. Mobilization to the site, it is inclusive. When you pay the price per meter, other companies will tell you mobilization is separate, but the price per meter is inclusive: mobilization, drilling, casings, and test pumping. That's how we do it, unless people separately, but mobilization is inclusive of the price per meter. We don't charge it separately.
I see. So guys, the cost will be given is permit, is survey, is the drilling per meter. Now that drilling per meter includes casing, it includes test pumping, it includes mobilization of the machine to your site, but it does not include the cost of a pump. So what is the cost of a pump, Winnie and Peter?
Cost of a pump, it will vary. And that is why the last thing in a borehole is pump testing. Others call it test pumping, but the right word is pump testing, because we are testing the pump that is suitable for that borehole to be successful or to have good production. In that way, we measure the recharge and the discharge of that borehole. Through the test pumping, we do it for a continuous 24 hours, non-stop, pumping water from the borehole. After that 24 hours, we will have an analysis of the way the borehole is behaving. The way we are discharging water, the aquifers are still recharging. So that is discharge versus recharge rate. When we do that analysis, we get the water yield in how much your borehole can pump in cubic per hour. How many liters is your producing in 1 hour?
I get it.
Yeah. So when you do that analysis, that is when we'll come to a specific wattage of a motor. Let's say, for example, we've analyzed we need a 4 kilowatts motor. The motor is the one which will determine the rest of the accessories in the borehole. From there, we get the kilowatt of the motor. We look for a pump that will go in line with that kilowatt, with the pump, the motor with that kilowatts, the cabling, the pipes, all the way to the surface and to the control panel.
Okay, so does this mean that you can you drill a hole where there is no power?
Yes, we do drill.
Yes, but can you test pump when there is no power?
We test pump with our test pumping unit is comprised of a generator. That is what we use to pump test. We actually, even if you have power, we don't use power to pump test. We use our machine. Our machines generate electricity to pump test.
Okay, so let me ask another question, because this is important. If I don't have power and you have tested my pump and you've told me the requirements and everything, and you go, but I don't have power, can I start to use that borehole?
You cannot for solar
yet, but you'll use the solar pump. But you haven't installed the pump, right? You have just done the test.
We have only done
that.
I can hear you. Let me get this clear. When you're test pumping with your own facility.
Yes.
So after that you then tell me what sort of pump I need.
Yes, and the motor and the cables, the control panels, the adapter set, everything. Borehole equipment.
Okay. And what is the range in pricing for an average pump and all those accessories?
Let's say they range between 300,000 to 1.5 million.
So a good one would be how much? Gosh.
You can do a solar pump, you can do both of them, 3-phase. It depends what you want.
Maybe to clarify on that, when we give you that quote, we will not give you a quote for pump and motor only. We'll give you a quote for everything that will be installed in that.
Yeah. Oh, we are losing Peter. So the cost you give me will be inclusive of everything that I need to bring that project to the end.
Piping, cables, everything. to do the pump installation.
And this is what you're saying is between 200,000 to say 1.5, depending on the one you choose.
Yes. Wow. Because other people will are having electric and solar all together, so it will be expensive. When you want a solar pump, electric.
But do solar pumps work all right?
Yes, they do. They are the best. For farmers who think electricity is more expensive for them, they'll opt for the solar pump. Most people are changing from electric to the solar.
I see. So now you have already shared with us the cost structure. You have told us why the cost per meter is usually so expensive, because a lot of people think that that is the cost of just drilling, but you have now clarified that it includes the cost of graveling, of casing, until you reach the surface. So it's important to understand what drives, the cost. And but test pumping is a separate cost.
No, it is inclusive of.
It is inclusive of the cost per meter.
Yes.
Price per meter.
Excellent.
It's not inclusive the pump installation.
I understand. It does not include pump installation, but it includes test pumping.
Yes, it does. The price
pump
per meter.
Testing.
Either way.
Okay, so now tell me, what is the approximate cost per meter drilling?
They range from, I'll give you a range.
Yes.
I'll give you a range because different places have different prices because of the formation of the place, distance, and mobilization. So they range from 6,000 per meter to 8,000. No wonder if someone to send the hello?
Oh, guys, I think I lost you there briefly. You're saying that the cost for drilling will range from between 6,000 to 8,000, for instance.
Yes.
Because of the formation of the place, the distance, and all that, right?
Yes. They can be.
And what is formation?
Formation is the underground rocks in a particular place. Yes. But let me say the distance is the most important thing because of the mobilization of machinery. We mobilize the machinery to yes.
All right. So when you come to survey my place, and then you tell me that water will be struck after 100 meters, but then you drill 100 meters and there is still no water. Will you leave it halfway? Or will you drill to the end and charge extra? Or will you drill to the end and not charge extra? How do you do it?
Celine, what I can say, before you do any drilling, you sign a contract, right? And in that contract, there is a drilling contractor. There is the owner, which is you, Celine, plus we have the supervising hydrologist. So before you sign it, it shows. In case we don't get water, no wonder most people are advised to go through the contract. We can go beyond that 100 meters. So if you say we can't go, we can't go. But one thing people don't understand, we are not 100% accurate. So we may get to 100, you don't get maximum water, you get like 2 cubic. Maybe you are a farmer, you can't do anything with 2 cubic. So you need to go deeper to get enough water, if 10 cubic per hour. So by the end of the day, it's the decision you make between the owner, the supervising hydrologist, plus the drilling contractor. So we don't drill if you haven't given us the permission to drill. Maybe the water is less, you can't use it at that point.
Okay.
So we don't agree to for us to drill because there's a contract.
Tell me, how accurate is the survey? What percentage accuracy is the survey?
It's 95% accurate. The other 5%, you can't say it because the formation has the same water characteristics with the formation. The formation and the water have the same water characteristics. and it hides itself within the formation. So the other 5% is not accurate because of mud and clay. No wonder we are 95% accurate on the hydrological survey. So the other 5% is accurate, yes.
So the 95% accuracy is like an industry standard. It is plus minus 5%.
Yes. It's 100%.
So if you drill 100 meters, which the survey showed, my mind as the client should know that chances are you will need to go 105 deep, right?
You may, or you may drill to 90 and maximum water. You can also drill less than and still get maximum water. That can make them not drill to 100. So there are two possibilities.
Yeah, it's plus minus, right? And when it is plus 5 meters, am I going to pay the cost of those 5 meters?
Yes, you will pay. We still drill the 5 meters, and you are drilling on your site.
And if it is 90, will you give me back money?
Yes.
Yes, you'll get back your money.
Like you tell me. Okay, so once you strike the water, let me see if I'm following. Once you strike the water, you measure the quantity, then you test pump, then you tell me the kind of pump that I require, then I buy, it's a separate cost, and installation is also an additional cost of that pump, right?
Yes.
So between the time that you finish and the time that I buy the pump, whose responsibility is it? Is it mine or is it yours?
Responsibility. Pardon?
Okay. You know how sometimes nimeishiwa na pesa, but you have already sunk it, but I need now to, and you've test pumped, and now I need to go and buy the pump. Who is responsible for that thing at that time? Is it still in your hands or is it in mine? Peter.
Okay, to answer that question, when we do the drilling, we do the pump testing. If you are not ready for the next process, we put a borehole cover. We cover your borehole and leave it in a safe way. Then we go back.
Okay.
If you get the money, you can call us or call another contractor. It will depend with you. If you've not charged you the whole thing, it will depend. But we leave your borehole in a safe way, covered.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. So tell me, guys, you've already told us the difference between pumps. You know, some are solar, some are combined. You know, so that's okay. But boreholes, as they were, the water there, are boreholes permanent?
According to how I know it, if a borehole is how I know it, hope you can hear me?
No, I can't. No, you're a little bit muffled. I can't hear you clearly, Winnie.
Okay, if boreholes are deep and the casing are still.
Oh my, I don't know why your sound is poor. I think your mouthpiece is hiding in your jacket.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you, but it's a little muffled. But carry on.
Yes. What is your question?
If a borehole is deep and have steel casings, they are permanent. But if a borehole is drilled and have PVC casings, they are not permanent because you can reconstruct it. That's how I know it, unless you can know it in another way. So if someone puts PVC with things, you can reconstruct, so they are not permanent.
No. Okay, I guess what I'm asking, Winnie, because now I can hear you better.
Yes.
The water down there, is it permanent?
Yes, it is permanent. It never did. You have the maximum depth. Unless you have a well. For a borehole, you get water 24 hours the whole of the year. Some boreholes are even 50 years old and they still have water. So they are permanent. The water down there is permanent.
I saw somebody mentioning on the thread that boreholes sometimes dry. Is that so?
Not
Peter?
really, unless really, that is not really, unless the survey was not done or was not up to standard. You know, nowadays, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Nowadays, we have many quacks in this field. Others are not up to standard. And another point, they say cheap is expensive. I might give you my price, you say it's expensive, but you are not looking on the other side of the quality and the quantity of work that I will give you. You will opt to go for the cheap services and later get expensive results.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So then the water availability, if you go deep as the survey, as a proper survey recommends, then that water is there permanently.
It's permanent. It doesn't dry.
So the only thing that over time might need changing, and you'll tell me after every how long, maybe is the pump.
Okay, the pump you cannot change unless it spoils. Unless it is not the pump that is changed, it is the motor, because the motor is the one running the pump. So what will definitely spoil it? It's the motor. So what will
and the motor
change?
Can be replaced.
Yes, it is replaceable. Even the pump.
Okay. So let me ask you, because we can't tell the sort of water that we will strike, the quality of water. Tell us what qualities of water exist underground. What qualities exist and what are they best for?
Pardon?
What types of water exist underground that we can usually strike? I know there are people who strike fresh water, other people strike water with a lot of salt, you know. So what other types of water exist underground that I could strike?
There are two types of water you can strike underground. We have the soft water and the hard water. So the soft water, you can use it for everything. You can use it for irrigation, you can use it for drinking. But for the hard water, you need to purify it before you use it. So we have the soft water and the hard water.
I see. Now tell me, under what circumstances might NEMA decline to give me permission to drill?
Okay. It will depend with the environmental surrounding, the effect the borehole will have on the surrounding. Maybe there are a lot of water pans, the dams, the catchment areas where the underground stream, definitely there has to be somewhere it is coming from. If the underground stream it has.
We've lost Peter. Winnie? Winnie, did we lose you too?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Please speak up from the left. I wanted to understand, you know, the circumstances under which NEMA can say no, even though there is water. And he's explaining that catchment area, a place with dams and streams, which are coming from somewhere, then chances are NEMA will say that if you sink a borehole, it will be detrimental to the environment. So they can say no.
It's the same like Naivasha. What Peter is trying to say, right now, if you try looking for permits in Naivasha, it's hard to get the permits. Maybe it's because of the geothermal or such more. They'll personally give you reasons. Maybe it will be risk to the surrounding places. They're saying Nairobi, they don't want people to drill more boreholes because they are excess than what they think. So by the end of the day, they have different reasons. the surrounding, if it's harmful for people, if it's near a hospital. So they give you reasons why they can't approve your NEMA approval at the point. Once they visit you. Yes.
But is it true that if my neighbor has a borehole, the chances that I will be denied are high? Is that true?
No. It used to be there. You can't drill a borehole more than 10 meters, but nowadays they approve that. If someone is in the group and they'll tell you. Nowadays they do approve because they visit your site.
Okay. Yes. So my last question, or my second last, is whether you guys give a guarantee. Once you drill my borehole and you do the casing and you do the piping and is there a guarantee of that work? So for instance, if the casing collapses, is there a guarantee?
Nanda, I told you, Celine, don't drill a borehole if you haven't signed a contract. But before you do the casings, they have flashed the borehole. You've seen if there is water, if there is no water, the capacity, do we need to do the casings? You've signed a contract. So there is a guarantee. And most companies will come to do maintenance to your borehole every year. So that shows their commitment to your borehole because they come yearly to check it and much more. So there's a guarantee for each and every borehole a company drills.
Absolutely clear. So tell me, Winnie, between now and say end of March of next year, if a member of this group commits with the water links, and now Peter is back. Peter, we're on our last question, and I was asking about guarantees, and Winnie has explained about there being a warranty and follow-up service every year. If you sign the contract, you need to make sure that those things are included in your contract. Now, my question, because it's the last one, is whether you two from
before you go to the last one, I think I've listened to the conversation all along. I just have 2 more questions, maybe to clarify from Winnie.
Carry on, Mangi.
Yeah. So at the start, you said that usually you do a test of the water once you have the borehole done, and then you test the water that is coming out. You take it to the lab and test it. So I wanted to understand, if you take it to the lab and then the results are negative, does that mean that borehole is unusable? And then that meaning that then the client has gone across. That means they can't use the borehole. And then the second question I want to put across is water is a common resource, actually classified as a common resource. And when you sink a borehole, and also at the point where you are talking about policies, government policies, you mentioned that there's a policy that you can't have 2 boreholes within a radius of 100 meters. So does that mean that now, when you consider that water is a common resource, does that mean if I sink a borehole in my land today, my neighbors can actually use the same water, or how does that work out? So those are my 2 questions for now, Winnie and Bubwa.
I don't think we're on the same page. I want to understand the first question.
What he's asking, Winnie, is if you said there are 2 types of water that you can strike. There's fresh water and then there is salty water, right? Yes. So assuming that the water comes out and it is salty, but his question, if I got Mwangi right, does that mean that is a waste? Or what can that water be used for?
No wonder it goes to the lab so that we know what's making it salty if you want fresh water. But there are places you'll drill and get fresh water. But if it's salty, there are so many ways of purifying the water. There is reverse osmosis. They'll give you different options according to where your pocket can reach more expensive, because other people will tell you reverse osmosis is like $1 million plus. So other people won't afford it. So there are different processes to make it go to fresh and you can drink it, to make it from hard to soft. So by the end of the day, the results will make us give you a recommendation of the best process to make the water from soft to hard. And people drink that water. We can use a company like Orange Park. Orange Park, the water they bottle it is borehole water, but people don't know it. It's fresh. We drink it, and kids have approved it. So by the end of the day, we use different processes to make the water from hard to soft. So no wonder we take the water to the lab. So we get to know the
sorry,
the mineral in the water. It's okay, dear. The minerals in the water that makes it salty. So we decide it. So there are different processes we'll use that to make water suitable for everything, for drinking.
Exactly. Peter, do you want to add something?
Okay, it's clear. It's clear that way. She has explained all the terminology processes.
Yeah. So if water is salty, there's a process that you need to take it through for it to be drinkable. However, you don't have to go through the entire process if you need it for laundry. And if you need it for farming, the process is different, you know? So it's about being the raw material and what you want to use it for. So if it's for water bottling, then you need to get the right machinery that will break down the minerals in that water to make it drinkable. Right, Winnie?
Yes. Yes.
And the second question Mwangi was asking was about how many boreholes can be within the radius of 1 kilometer. But I think Winnie addressed that already.
Yeah, she addressed that, but my question was from a point of water is a common resource for the people. So that means in 100 square meter, that means I can't have 2 boreholes. So what of other people who are living within that area? Does that mean they can also use your borehole? Does the borehole become a common resource for the people within that area?
That depends now on vile mmesikizana.
Now I wanted to understand from a policy point or from maybe from a legal point. How does that work out?
Can I answer that one?
Yes.
Yes.
What we do, okay, not us. That distance of between a borehole and another one, it is determined by the Ministry of Water and the Ministry of Environment, depending on the environmental impact or you can drill many boreholes in one place, which will result to low production, whereby the water may not be useful in one way or the other. So if they give a limitation of the number of boreholes you'll drill in a certain radius, then we don't have option. On your point of the other people using your water, that will depend on how you will agree with them. You can decide to pipe the water to them.
Yeah, I've actually seen people who have boreholes and they've actually piped water to the different houses and they meter them so that those people pay the water bill.
Yes, because even the person who has drilled the borehole, he's also given a meter by the Ministry of Water.
What for?
Yeah, water is a resource for the government.
Okay, some things are government protocols. You know, the Ministry of Water, they are the water provider in the country. So they put the meters to determine or let's say to check how the water is being produced, maybe how you are using, such kind of things, government protocols.
Okay. And that meter from the government is also the cost of on the client's bill.
What you pay? Or
do I pay for that government meter?
What you pay? I think 50 cents in every, I think 10,000 or 100,000 liters of water, and that is done thrice or twice a year. So it's not that costly. Mostly, they are not looking on the side of charging you. They are looking on the side of monitoring your borehole.
Yeah.
And again, at times, like now, we have cases of illegal boreholes.
Yeah.
When your borehole has that meter, it means it is legally recognized by the government.
Yeah, I get it.
The meters are for monitoring.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get it. I get it.
One last one. I've been
Yeah.
before I've actually been involved in having actually digging of boreholes, and there is sometime a borehole collapsed. After actually it even had water, we had completed digging, but it collapsed. So can you try to explain to us what are the causes or the factors that can cause a borehole to collapse once it's dug?
It had casings, Mr. Mwangi. Did it have
Yeah.
casings?
Yes.
It had casings.
Yes.
A borehole can't
had.
collapse. Things.
With casings, it prevents it from collapsing.
But it did. I have one that I know that actually collapsed and it's no longer usable.
It had casings.
Yeah. Yes. It had.
The borehole had casings.
Yes. Yes. It had.
So so what we are saying here is that you know, even a building can be built and it will collapse. So what Mwangi is asking is what might make a borehole collapse? Is it the volcanic activity, or is it just poor workmanship?
Maybe the formation can add up to that, but I really want to see the borehole of Mr. Mwangi with casing and it collapse. The only thing you can do, you can get a borehole camera and check what's wrong with your borehole underground. So you'll get a report after that. When people come to the site, we send people to your site with a borehole camera and we get to know what made it collapse. But with casing, I've never had a case that casing was installed and then it collapsed. Unless Peter tells me.
And therefore, this means that these are some of the things that are covered in the warranty that you're given in the contract, I guess.
Yes, yes, it's covered. It is covered.
What of the cases
Peter is saying
like
something different?
the areas? What about the areas we have maybe landslides, mudslides? Can those affect the borehole?
It will affect. The formation is different. The formation is different in that place. It will. There are places when you drill, you can't stay even 1 meter without installing the casing. So it depends with the location, and the supervising hydrologist should tell you possibilities if it collapses, because others collapse even before you finish drilling. So by the end of the day, the surveyor should tell you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now please give us the offer for members of our group. Guys, if a member here, don't laugh. This is normal. It's basic. If a member here confirms with you and you do the survey, can you give them a discount on the survey? If they do it, say by end of March, or if they commit to doing this entire job, can you give us a certain percentage discount if we commit by, say, end of March of 2020? I'm looking at 6 months because borehole investment is not small. Please give us an offer.
Let's start off, then I think of my offer.
Peter, can discount?
Yes, we can. If a client commits,
I can't hear you.
we do give offers. Yes. Percentage discount will. The discount we shall give. The discount we shall give. Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay. The discount we can give, it will be determined by a lot of factors. You can't just say like 10%, 8%. It will be determined by a lot of factors. But we can give a discount for the survey. We can give a discount for the drilling. We can give a discount for the pump installation. We can give a discount for everything, but it will be determined by some factors.
So you're open to discount, but you want to talk on a case-by-case basis because the situations are different.
Yes.
Okay. So somebody's saying that there is a borehole that they drilled in 2015 and it was done by Davis and Shatleff, but it usually does not give the maximum amount of water in the dry season. What might be the problem?
2015.
Yes.
Okay. Most of these factors, they do depend with the survey. That's why when we quote for, or when someone asks about a borehole drilling, we give it in 3 phases. Phase 1, the survey. Phase 2, the drilling. Phase 3, the installation. And all these processes or these phases entirely depend on the first phase. So if phase 1 for the survey was poorly done, it means all the processes will not be 100% accurate.
So what you're saying is that the survey is so important because it will determine how much water you can get, how deep you must go, whether your water remains at the same level of it or it's going to be seasonal, like in the case of this gentleman. You're saying that the survey is so important. So members, if there is anything you must shortcut, it can't be the survey. Get a proper team to survey so that they can tell you how deep you need to go so that you get to the right depth aquifers. I feel like a professor.
So I need to say something about the hydrological survey. It's valid for a year. It's valid for a year. Most people don't get to understand it. It's not valid for a duration like 10 years. So it's valid for to work on your borehole. If you want to do a borehole by December or when you want to do it, you can and expect to do the borehole in 2020, in 2022. So it's valid for a year for you to get to know, you have a chance to plan yourself to do the borehole within a year. Another thing, your hydrological survey report will be signed by a hydrologist. Registered. It's not just a report you're given, but it should also be signed by a registered hydrologist. So that's another point. Yes.
Okay. Winnie, you didn't tell us if you're giving us a discount.
Peter said about the discount. Yes, I'm giving you a discount. I hope I won't get fired by my boss tomorrow morning, but we'll work on a discount. Let me give you a 45 on the survey, a 45 on the permit. On the price per meter, we will come to a conclusion.
Okay, so you're saying that you can actually reduce the cost of the permit and the cost of the survey to 45, but then the cost per meter will depend on other things and it can be discussed.
Yes.
Excellent. And this offer is extended up to end of March of 2020.
Yes.
So members, if you're watching, and we are going to be sharing the contacts of these people shortly. If you're watching and you're thinking of doing a survey or drilling a borehole, you have 2 companies that you can contact. One of them is the Waterlinks, which is represented today by Winnie Konda. And the other one is Alpha Geoscience Drilling Company, which is represented today by Peter Mbogwa. Make sure you ask for your discount because you are in this group and they have promised us kukiwa na mwangaza kwamba they will give us a discount. Make sure you chase your discount. The other thing, members, when you do a survey, remember, by law, it is valid for only 1 year. So don't present a survey that was done in 2016 and you want the drilling to be done tomorrow. It won't happen. It is already expired. You need to do another one. So don't hurry to do if you don't feel that you're kind of ready or that you can be ready within the year. So, ladies and gentlemen, this brings to an end our discussion. The numbers of our consultants are on the screen. Winnie's number is 0715 558. I lied. 0715 587 751. And Mbugwa's is 0718 833 084. Or if you cannot get them, call Mwangi and I. My number is 0705 640 667. And Mwangi's is 0723 146 810. Make sure you claim your discount. Make sure you ask other questions. At the end of the day, we are hopeful that you are more knowledgeable about boreholes, about the requirements of drilling, about the approximate costs, and from here you can actually make a call.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so we hope that you're more knowledgeable about borehole drilling. We hope that you can actually ask better questions now, and that from here you can actually pick the phone and
We've lost her. She'll be joining back, but I think Winnie and Buga, thank you for joining us tonight. Aline will be joining shortly. So I think that will be the end of the show tonight. We are grateful for your time this evening, and this is a topic we are also going to explore further down. As we started, I think Salim said how water fits into our space, and water is actually part of infrastructure in addition to power, roads, and other parts of infrastructure. So thank you for your time. We are grateful, and we look forward to actually engaging with you.
yeah, thank you, Winnie and Mbugwa.
Welcome back.
I'm sure that you'll get some calls enough to respond to these issues as they come up on this thread. I think we're having problems with connectivity, so I guess we say bye and have a good night. Thank you for sharing your.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you. Have a good time.